Hey guys, welcome to Fashionista on the Run. I appreciate you so much for clicking on this video and I hope that you enjoy the tips that I'm going to share with you guys. Okay guys, so let me give you a rundown on what this is. So basically, Fashionista on the Run is my brand, my platform, and I really love talking. I love sharing and giving advice to people, and sometimes people aren't in the mood to really reciprocate it. So I just wanted to be able to provide information to people that they can take whenever they want or not take. So basically for this week, I'm doing a video about travel. I freaking love travel. Hello, Fashionista on the Run. I am always anywhere but here. I did write down some tips. I have them on my cell phone and I also have them on this notebook. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my notebook on my cell phone to make sure like I'm saying everything that I want to get out. If there's anything that I realize, oh my gosh, I forgot, I will do a blog post that will just like sum up all of these tips so you guys can go back and revert back to the blog post to also have these tips there. Alrighty, so the first tip is when you're traveling airplanes. This is like a tip that I think is so important. Buy your tickets in incognito. As we know, like your web browsers are being seen through cookies, so if you keep looking at a trip so often, eventually the price will keep going up. This is especially accurate for hotels, but for right now we're talking about airplanes. But it is like very important you buy an incognito. I typically, if I know I'm going to go somewhere, like I've already set out my travel for 2018 on the stuff that I want to do. However, we know things can change. But anytime I look at a trip, probably like a month before the trip, I'll start looking at like ticket prices to see how it goes, if it goes up or down. But definitely do it on incognito. You can just clear your cookies if you don't want to do it on incognito, and the price may or may not go down. I did have a friend who told me that when he was looking up hotels, which is why I said the hotel example, is the price kept going up. Then once he cleared his cookies, the price went back down to the price that he first saw when he was looking for hotel prices. So you could clear your cookies, but that's just so much work. So what I do is I literally go on incognito, pull up the web browsers that I want to look at for different airlines that I want to look at their prices, and then I usually go on the one that I really want to buy and I just buy it regular. My favorite airline to fly on is JetBlue. I'm sorry if you are not a JetBlue fan, but I love JetBlue. In my opinion, which I hope that after this video this doesn't happen, but they haven't been in the news about anything. They haven't done anything that I've been like upset about. The only thing that does piss me off with JetBlue is that you can pick your seats ahead of time, which is one thing that I love. However, there was one time when I went to New York, literally my way there and on my way back, someone was sitting in my seat. And I could have just said, hey, you're sitting in my seat, but I was like, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. At least I have a seat. I'm on the plane, let's just go. But that was the only thing. However, JetBlue is just, I think their prices are just reasonable for what you get. You're gonna get the same thing on any flight. You don't only get snacks or cookies and peanuts. You actually get like this wide variety of food options. Usually I'm in Florida, so usually, well, the places that I've gone is New York and LA the most, and it's hard to sometimes find direct flights to those locations. However, with JetBlue, I have found reasonably priced direct flights to those locations, so I just love JetBlue. My friend, her birthday is coming up and we are planning a trip for her birthday, and we're looking up flights, and unfortunately the place where we want to go, the flights are a little bit more pricier. And this brings up my second favorite airline, because their prices were like reasonably priced, is Southwest. Southwest, same thing, I haven't had a problem with them. However, one thing I do like about Southwest over JetBlue is that you do get one free checked bag. With JetBlue, you don't get a free checked bag, you do have to pay for it, but you do get, of course, get your carry-on for free. I don't really know of any airline where you have to pay for a carry-on. If you know of an airline where you have to pay for a carry-on, let me know. But to my knowledge, every airline usually gives you that free carry-on. Of course, it's just a check that is either a fee, or if you're part of their different programs, maybe you get that for free. Being the fact that I really love JetBlue, I am highly considering doing their membership program. If I do decide to do it, I will let you guys know. But back to the tips. Okay, so tip number 2, flying out and flying in. So if you have control over this, I highly suggest flying out on a Friday, only because that's like the weekend day. But that's just like almost the cheapest day to fly out, especially if you can get it at a really good time. If you're in a busy city, so like if you're in like an LA, New York, Miami, Orlando, Las Vegas, these places are going to be the craziest to fly out on a Friday. So if you need to be at the airport 2 hours ahead of time, I highly suggest 3. When I went to LA this past November, we got to the airport literally an hour before. I know, you guys, it's supposed to be 2 hours, but I had to wait for people. We literally got to the airport almost an hour before we were supposed to fly out. Literally, it was like almost like 30 minutes it took to get through getting your bag checked and everything. Then when we got through, we had to catch a shuttle because the airline I was flying out of, they were having construction. Then we got there literally with like 20 minutes to spare. And you know, most flights, even though you fly out at 6, they start boarding at 5:30. So it's just one of those things that I highly suggest, like doing Friday and also getting there the 2 hours ahead of time. Flying in, make sure you, if you can, try and fly in on a Tuesday. I love doing that just because I don't like, well, it depends. I don't like weekend trips just because it's so quick and short, and you take one day to travel there. You usually travel there on Friday, then by Saturday you're spending like your day there, then Sunday you have to leave and come back, and then you're rushing to get ready for the week. So I really love like that extended vacation where you actually get to experience the place like during the week a little bit. For me, since I am in the process like moving, I do like the fact of being able to be in places through the week a little bit, just because it gives me an idea of how this will be like if I were to live here. Would I actually like it past the weekend? Can I actually stay here for the week? Like, I'm not only a weekend person, okay? So yeah, which on my notes I have like either fly out Thursday or Friday or come back in Monday or Tuesday, but I recently booked a flight and Tuesday was like the cheapest date to fly in, like, so definitely try and do that. Tip number 3, which honestly this is like depending on the type of person you are, but pack light, like as light as possible. A girl I met, which I hope to have her on my channel, she like told me she only packed one bag for a backpacking trip. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks, and she literally packed everything for those 2 or 3 weeks in one bag. Like, I thought that was just crazy, but it is doable. So don't like think like, oh my gosh, I can never do that. Like, if you actually sit down and take the time, like plan out each outfit and go over different stuff you can mix and match, like especially if it's like jackets or different shoes you can wear with multiple outfits, you can really make it work. Like, obviously you're not gonna wear like the same shirt the next day or the day after, or use it for like a different look. But one thing I would suggest that does help with packing light, and this kind of goes more for women than men, sorry guys, but if you can, depending on like the weather conditions where you're going to, and if it goes with your style, I like to wear like a lot of dresses or jumpsuits, so that brings down my outfits that I'm packing in my bag to just one straight outfit, and that like, and it just makes it so much easier. If I am doing a jumpsuit, I'll do like a little leather jacket or a jean jacket, so like, you know, dress it up or give it like a little bit more of a flare or a different like look. However, I find that that goes so much better because if you're already taking a jacket, you could just use that jacket for like different outfits or not wear it at all. So that is one tip that I have. Tip number 4, travel from airport, use Uber, Lyft, or Super Shuttle. When I went to New York for the first time, I was so nervous. I went by myself, which I'll probably do a separate video about traveling alone tips, but I like to use Uber, Lyft, or Super Shuttle, which honestly I can't even say I like to use Lyft because I still haven't used it yet. I know I'm crazy, but I do plan on using it when I go to LA later this month. A friend of mine suggested that I use it, but if you can, I highly suggest using Uber. If you're nervous and it's your first time going somewhere, you're not sure where you're going, use a Super Shuttle. It's a flat rate, $25. I used it when I was coming from New York back home, only because my flight was like at 6 a.m. and so I wasn't sure if Uber was going to be running that early, which I'm sure they would have, but I was also going from New York and I was flying out of New Jersey, so I was like, you know what, Super Shuttle would be so much better because if I take an Uber, it would probably cost me like $40, maybe $50. Even though New York and New Jersey aren't that far, I just didn't want to take any chances. However, it was kind of a bad idea using the Super Shuttle because in their systems you put in your flight information and they pick you up 2 hours ahead of time. However, it was a 6 a.m. flight and the airport didn't open until 5 a.m. So luckily I could like sit in the airport, but I couldn't go like through baggage, like the area where you get checked at through security, through TSA. So I literally had to sit in the airport for an hour at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Like, when I tell you I was so tired, I was just so tired and irritated. So definitely if you have a later flight or a flight that like is just at a more reasonable time, do Super Shuttle, especially if you're nervous about like pricing, and make sure you get there on time and not having like to worry too much about where you're going. Do Super Shuttle. It's your stay. So, well, tickets before I get to stay. So one app that I really like to use is Hopper. I forgot how I first heard about Hopper. I think I heard about it from a friend. So typically what happens is that I'll hear someone talking about something, but I won't like jump on the bandwagon right away. However, I was so upset that I hadn't jumped on Hopper sooner. Like, I freaking love Hopper. So basically with Hopper, you can put in the dates, put in where you're flying out of and flying into, put in the dates, and basically what Hopper does is it tracks different airline prices for you. I know, you guys, I know. I get so excited just thinking about it. So I like utilize this app so much, and I thought it has just been like a great investment. Like, even though I haven't had to pay anything, but it was just the best thing I've ever downloaded on my phone. So when I was recently booking my ticket to LA, it was saying that the ticket price was like $200 round trip, and I'm like, that is just crazy. I'm sure I can find something cheaper. And Hopper will literally tell you, hey, wait, don't purchase these ticket prices. There's a chance it's going to go down to say 150 in the next 3 weeks, but it can't give you an exact date because it doesn't know exactly the date and the time when it's going to go down. But typically what I've learned is purchase tickets Tuesdays around like 3 to 5, because that's when like most airlines are cashing out, or not cashing out, but that's when they're like kind of like resetting the prices and everything for like that week or that next day. So most people start their week on a Monday. Airlines kind of start their day on like a Tuesday, or they end their week on a Tuesday and they reset. So yeah, I was able to get some really good deals. You can purchase the tickets to Hopper, but I haven't done that yet. I've mainly just like looked at Hopper, and then if I'm like not still liking the prices, I'll still hop onto trusty old JetBlue and check and see if like there's anything on there, of course through incognito mode. But I'll like hop onto JetBlue and see if there's anything there. If I don't find anything, then I'll just say okay, I'll just wait a little bit longer. But Hopper has definitely been like a great asset. Another thing that I like about it is that when you're purchasing the tickets, depending on the dates, it'll tell you if the dates that you're flying in and out of are like the high price dates. So of course, like the holidays, we just got out of Christmas, Thanksgiving time, so of course those are going to be high price dates, but it will try and help you find the lowest cost as possible. When it's spring break time, summer vacation, we all know there's going to be high prices, but it does try and help you to find the lowest price. I do know a lot of people mentioned to me about Frontier and Spirit. I have not flown Frontier and Spirit only because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about them, and it's almost been a little bit more bad than good. One thing that I don't like about Frontier or Spirit from what I've heard is that you pay for this low price ticket. Like, I think I had my friend who said that she got her ticket price for like $26 round trip. However, you still have to pay for a bag later on. I think they actually charge for a checked bag. However, if you have like a certain bag, you don't have to pay for it. I don't know the whole idea. I may be like butchering up their system, which I'm sorry if I am. But yeah, I just am like very reluctant to purchase a ticket from them. I'm all for cheap prices, but I don't know if I want it that cheap. And then I also hear that their seats are super small and you have like a super tight space. I remember when I was flying to, I think LA, I was flying to LA and I was sitting next to these two older women. They were, when I say older, like one of them was retired, the other one was still working. They were telling me how on their flight to where I was flying out of, their knees hurt because they didn't have any room. And JetBlue, they said they liked it so much better because they had a lot more room and all this stuff. And it turned out that like their separate tickets that they purchased, my round trip ticket through JetBlue was cheaper than theirs. And I was like, yeah. So I gave them some of the tips I'm giving you guys, and they were just looking at me like, what? So that was just like a very interesting flight. But yeah, I highly suggest using Hopper. Like, that has been the way that I've gotten these super cheap flights. So staying, when I went to New York, it was so reluctant. On the New York trip I'm talking about, I think when I went, it was in September. It was around Hurricane Irma. I literally booked my ticket right after Hurricane Irma left. Backstory behind that trip, and you can also read my blog, which I'll have linked down below, is I just like, since I was younger, I always said I wanted to go to New York. I wanted to live there. I mean, I watched so much TV, and so many of the movies I watched, it had New York in there. So I was like, oh my God, New York is like this fabulous place. So many people live there, and they just like, their lives just seem like it happens there. So I finally got a chance to go, and literally I'm gonna like cry right now just because just thinking about it, I just get so happy. But I literally bought the ticket that Tuesday, and I think my flight was like 120 round trip. I'll put like a screenshot of how much my ticket price was right here. But yeah, it was like 120 round trip. Literally I flew out that Thursday, and I think I came back that following like Monday and Tuesday. And I didn't tell anyone about it, which I'm not gonna go into too much details because I'll put this in like my solo travel tips. But really quickly, I'll say this before I like don't ramble on too much, but I didn't tell anyone about it just because I didn't want anyone to really like know or try to talk me out of it. So I just went and did it, and it was honestly the best trip I ever had. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll do it like first story time or like my travel tips video, solo travel tips video. So yeah. So on that trip when I went to New York, I learned, like, my friend, the one who was like kind of like motivating me to go and do it, she gave me so many tips. So we all know about Airbnb. However, there's also this other site, it's called Overnight, and Overnight was a really good site, and I'm going to talk about that also in my New York video just because something amazing happened with that connection. But yeah, I will link the Airbnb I stayed at in New York just because it was beautiful. Like, the girl had like 400 reviews. Her place, like the room I had, it was just gorgeous. The bathroom, oh, so clean. The only bad part about it is that it's so far from everything. Like, literally to take a train in, it didn't take forever, but it's just really far. However, I am going to New York soon. If I do need a room, if they have space, I'll probably end up booking through them again. However, I'm going to see if I can get something more in the city if I can. If not, I may just end up booking with them. So try Airbnb, try Overnight. Those are great places to look at. Since I've been traveling, I haven't honestly stayed at hotels. I don't know any great tips about looking up prices on hotels just because I feel like a hotel is almost like an apartment. Honestly, if I could, I wish like I had like someone else to stay with, only because I would love to split the cost of staying in my apartment. I work Monday through Friday, so I'm never home during the day. Oh, I work Monday through Thursday, but either way, I'm never home during the day. And when I am home, I'm usually come home, grab something, and I'm out running errands or doing something. I'm literally here to just sleep. It's the same with when you stay in a hotel. You're literally there to just sleep. You're not going to stay inside the hotel and watch movies all day. You're not going to stay inside the hotel and like order room service all day. Maybe at nighttime when you're getting ready, you're going to like maybe watch a quick show, maybe order room service. But however, I just think Airbnb and Overnight have just been like great. Those have been like great apps that have been invented because it just saves so much money. Let me see. So my last tip with Airbnb and Overnight is make sure you check ratings. There was one review I remember. I'm not gonna like blast this person like who they are exactly, but there was one review that I was looking at through Airbnb when I was booking, I think, my New York flight, and a lot of the reviews said like the bathroom was like dirty and had mold. And it wasn't just one person who said it, it was like 5 people. So I took that as like okay, I'm definitely not booking with this person. So what I typically do when I like go through Airbnb and Overnight is I like look at the location, where is it, and like I kind of like plan out my trips, like what is my purpose for this trip, what am I going for this trip for, and what are the things I'm going to be doing on this trip. And I try and see if I can find the location to be near that, or near like a very like people driven area. What I mean by that is that it's either like in a downtown or a place where it's going to be like a lot of people, if I can. With this person, they just had like so many bad reviews, so I just basically X them off. If the person doesn't have like a profile photo, I just X them off. If they have like less than 5 reviews, I X it off. And if they don't have like a lot of like consistency, I also X them off. It's just I want to make sure like this is like a real life person. I love it when the people have like their Facebooks connected, just because I'll go over to their Facebook, see if it's them. One thing that I wish, which I understand why they don't do it, but I wish a lot of Airbnbs actually said if they weren't staying there. I remember when I went to LA, the Airbnb I stayed at, they weren't there. So basically it was an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. However, the people in the 2nd bedroom weren't the people I leased the room from. It was a completely different couple who was actually like coming from, I think they were coming from Panama, and this was like their anniversary trip. And it wasn't like a horrible stay. Like I think clashed well together, but I was just like, whoa, like this isn't the people that like I booked the place with. So that's one thing that I wish like Airbnb people will say, like, we are not staying here, you will be staying with like other random people, so that way you have a heads up, because that defeats the whole purpose of me like checking to see who you are as a person. But yeah, I haven't had any like bad things with my Airbnb or overnights. I think one Airbnb, which I'm not going to say which one it was, the bathroom wasn't like, oh my god, clean. I do typically take like cleaning supplies with me, but because I take a carry-on, I couldn't take my full like cleaning supplies with me, so that did make it difficult. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, clean, but I was like, look, you're only here for a few days, just make it work. So I hope these tips helped you. I'm sorry if this video wasn't like completely constructed well. I will also type out these tips on a blog post, so that way it's easier for you guys to just look back and check while you're booking your flights. Wherever you go, let me know. Like, comment below like some of your 2018 like travel goals. Where do you want to go? I know for me, like, I've already been to New York and LA. However, I am going back to those places, but I don't know why, but I feel like God is like leading me to go to Colorado, so I am planning a trip there. And I do want to take an international trip. I'm not gonna say where I want to go, but I kind of like am in the works of planning an international trip, and a few other things up in the air. But I just hope you guys are here for the journey to see what happens. Thank you so much again for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the whole deal. Tell your friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to tell a friend who's on a budget to tell a college friend who's trying to travel and live their best life. Okay. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.